Greetings, Ani, Bonjour, Kwekwe, Tanzi, Scano. It's Catherine and Brian from Moonstarlodge in South Central Ontario, bringing you our Indigenous perspective on all things cartomancy. And this is the week of May 12th to the 18th. And in this week, we start off with a bang with the great full moon of Looks Far Woman. So it's time for us to be totally bringing the full moon light on the things that are being connected with deeply within. So shining the light means making it so, in to quote Captain Picard, but I digress. All right, so it's the same decks as last week, and it's still a botanical theme with a lot of mysticism this week. So let's go to the cards, Brian. So the main deck this week is by Anya Rogov, and it is the Floral Enchantment Tarot. It's quite new. So here are the 7 Floral Enchantment cards. Or Floral Enchantment. Yeah, Floral Enchantment. And one each of the other decks, except these are the 2 astrological cards. And I pulled out, when I was doing the astrological cards, the stars again, and we still have the stars from last week as kind of morphing into this reading. So I shuffled again and got full moon, and that is appropriate for the 12th. And we'll discuss what this means at the end. So we start with the Wheel of Fortune card, which is number 10 in the Major Arcana, and this is clover. Red clover is an anti-cancer medicine, which is a good thing. Anyway, I again digress. So clover, and being the Wheel of Fortune, fortune has to go up and down. In order to appreciate the good times, we also have to experience the bad times. It's a bit of yin and yang. So I have to look at the cards around this significator when I'm reading in order to understand, are we going up or are we losing, on the losing side of the Wheel of Fortune. So I look at the clarifier here is the Tower. And the Tower is about freedom and release and abrupt change. So something that may have been holding us back for a very long time is being let go of abruptly. So it suggests to me that it's actually a good thing. And we're moving from this into the 7 of Spring, which is the 7 of Cups. And it's Jimson weed is the flower that is in this particular card. So going from the Wheel of Fortune to the 7 of Cups says we have lots of options. Some will be illusions, some will be, perfectly wonderful ideas as we move abruptly into some kind of new paradigm. Following on the theme of last week, it's very much searching for the new paradigm, the new direction. What clarifies this card is the card called Spark. And the flower that's in it is mango. But Spark, it seems like the things that we're looking at, all these options in the 7 of Cups, give us a divine spark. There is a spark in there around the direction in which we go once we've had our release and our freedom, our Tower moment. And we move next to the 5 of Autumn, which is the 5 of Pentacles. So all this movement may have us feeling like we are bereft, but we have to keep remembering that it's us looking away from the light. We may feel alone because we're moving in a new direction, and the people that we've come to know and love are not in that space anymore, that we have had to feel separate, and it might focus or have us focus on the wrong part of this journey. We aren't alone. It's clarified by the mother. This is an old garden rose, and it says old blush rose is the exact type. So we have mother energy, and this is the Gaia principle rather than our actual biological mothers. The universe is saying, you know, the universe, the collective consciousness, the all that is, the Gaia is your mother, is our individual mothers. And so we need not feel bereft. We are not alone. We move to the Emperor, and the card here is Gladiolus. This is interesting because the Emperor is profoundly responsible. It's building foundations, laws, teaching. It's the one able to define all kinds of things around a cosmic whole. And I mean WHOLE, the Gestalt. And so we don't need to feel alone even taking on this role, because we are building within this new paradigm, new directions. So the clarifying card for this is tranquility. It's the Stonecrop Apollo moth. And wow, okay. We need to feel tranquil. Tranquility is much more appropriate than feeling bereft. So when we feel safe, when our foundations are in place, when we are the Emperor defining our own new freedom and our own new direction, we should feel within those foundations, those walls, those streets, those buildings, the empire of the Emperor, we should feel tranquility. The next card is the Marigold, and this is another 5. 5 of Spring, which is cups in this deck. This can be incredible grief, and it can be finding the balance. 5s are the number in between, in numerologically speaking. The 5 is the number of man in old numerology decks. It's also, it represents death. But in this case, this marigold is telling me, separate from the traditional meaning of the 5 of Cups, that we can't fall back into feeling like we've lost something. We're building something new. It's not okay to go into a state of loss. It's normal, it's human, and if you feel it, own it. Own the feeling and let it go. What clarifies this sense of grief is a card that tells us to breathe. This moment matters most. How can you focus on the moment and appreciate that all is well? All is well, and the grief shall pass. We come to a flower of healing, actually, the rose hip. And this is the night of summer. So what follows this sense of grief, when we breathe and be in the moment, is this beautiful Knight of Wands. So he's another go-getter, going after with great impetus, power, and a sense of joy and adventure, what it is we are rebuilding, this new freedom, this new paradigm. And it's clarified by, guess who? The Knight of Wands from a different deck. Although in this deck he's called the Knight of Inspiration. So we can't get any clearer than that. It's very definitely that we're on the right path. We needn't grieve. We needn't worry. None of that is necessary. It will be fine. We come to Peach, which is the King of Pentacles, the one who governs our material plenty, our own personal kingdom. Great balance and maturity, intellectual maturity, but also emotional maturity around the dispensation, taking care of ourselves and being able to take care of others and creating a legacy out of it. So we will come to the understanding, if we take on the archetype of the king, that what we've gone through here with our worry and our grief is a natural process to come to the understanding that the king archetype brings us. The clarifier is authenticity, sovereignty, independence, and uniqueness. That's what we've brought ourselves. This is a collective reading, but we all will have these energies to work with, and we will all be creating something new for ourselves. And finally, the this ends the actual tarot part. So these are the astrological clarifiers. This is the full moon, and I'm going to ask Brian to douse and see if Sagittarius is coming up.
Yes.
Okay, so by the time we hit Sag, we are going to be reaping the rewards of all that we've done. So it's, fall. Now, is this full moon card about today's, like the 12th of May's full moon, or is it about the full moon in Sagittarius?
12th.
So this card is about today. Or sorry, the full moon is about today. So we are taking this energy. It's not about Sagittarius. All right. I haven't had enough coffee. You can flip the camera up. So this is an interesting follow through to last week's reading, because it's defining changes that we consistently need to make in our lives. There are the tiny, tiny changes, but there's also major change. And major change is what this is about. Some changes we ease ourselves through. So if within the course of a week we're encountering grief and a sense of displacement or being left out, and yet we can get to the energy of the King of Pentacles by the end of the week, that's not a difficult journey. There's an intelligence and a maturity that's there for us to embrace. Anyway, we thank you for your support, whether it's through the coffee platform or emails or sending coffee or donation, e-transfers, whatever you do. Just liking and subscribing is a major help. So thanks everyone, and we wish you blessings. Kachimigwach. Nyawe aho.